Hello fellow astrologers, welcome back to the next video in our Astrology Keyring Fundamental series. In this video we're going to be talking about Gemini the Messenger. In our last video, C2, we talked about Taurus. And in our natural progression we're moving on to Gemini. We're going to go over a little bit about what Gemini is. We're going to go over our clickable links and talk about the sign breakdown of Gemini, and then we'll go over how it connects on the key ring, and then we're going to come back here to the keywords and go over those keywords. Gemini the Messenger. Gemini is the Zodiac's curious communicator, ruled by Mercury and aligned with the mutable air modality. Representing duality, flexibility, and intellect, Geminis are fast-moving minds who crave variety, conversation, and exploration. They are quick thinkers, often witty and clever, with a knack for gathering and sharing information. Gemini energy is social and spontaneous, thriving on situations and the freedom to explore new topics and people. While they excel at adapting and connecting, they can struggle with focus or follow-through. At their best, Geminis are engaging, insightful, and endlessly curious students and teachers of life. So just like all of our videos, we have a series of clickable links that talk about all these different topics that you can go and check out in Google to see what they are. Plus, there's a bunch of these other clickable links that take you to the videos that are just like this, where we go over all of the details about those particular topics. So let's go over a little bit about the sign breakdown of Gemini. The birth date range of Geminis are between May 1st and June 20th. So anyone born between those 2 days will have a Gemini sun. Now that's your sun, which is the self. You could also have Gemini in other things like your ascendant or your moon or any one of these other planets. When you have it in a different planet, then it gives you a little bit more of an idea of what it comes from that perspective. Now you could have Gemini in any one of these planets, but how that affects it depends on the planet. But we'll get more to that when we talk about planets in the D section. So let's go over the rest of the breakdown. Gemini is the element of air, and it is very airy. It's knowledgeable, it's diverse, and very communicative. It's also of the modality of mutable. Gemini is very flexible. It's ever-changing and adapting. So when you think about Gemini, it is very intellectually adaptive, very mutable, and has a lot of these qualities put together. So let's talk about the ruling planet. Now, Gemini shares Mercury. We mentioned that before. Gemini shares Mercury with Virgo. And Mercury is the planet of communication and thinking and short distance travel. A lot of these things are a lot of things that connect with Mercury itself. Granted, we'll talk more about that when we get into the D section. So let's move on over here to the corresponding house, the third house. Gemini is the third sign, so it connects to the third house. And the third house is a sign of communication. As we come over here, you can see right here. This is the third house. The natural progression starts first, second, third, and it's ruled by Mercury and Gemini. You can see right here it says air mutable. Now, we did the color coordination. As you can see, there's the element and modality, just like in the sign here. We've highlighted the element and the modality of Gemini, so you can see that no two signs share the same element and modality. But you can look at what the other modalities that are connected to that one, what the other signs are that are connected to that modality, or the other elements. So it gives you an idea of how they connect. And as per always, we highlight the line that corresponds to the actual data here, so you can see it linearly here in our list. That was a good little touch on Gemini. So let's go back and talk about the key words for Gemini. One thing we always do when we're talking about more of the detail stuff, like the signs, the planets, and the houses, So we like throwing in some keywords to give you a better idea of what the actual sign embodies. We like to give some general keywords as well as positive ones and negative ones so you get a good balance. So let's read those keywords. General traits: communication, curiosity, ideas, language, duality, and movement. Positive traits: witty, adaptable, inquisitive, expressive, clever, playful, sociable, and articulate. Negative traits: inconsistent, superficial, distractible, anxious, indecisive, talkative, and flighty. So these are all some really great keywords to tell you about Gemini. Granted, remember, some of these keywords you might see in other signs because they share similar elements or modalities. And then you might see that someone like Virgo, let's say, shares one of these traits. It's because they share those modalities or the element. Shows how they are similar, but yet some of the other keywords that it doesn't have will show how they're different. So that pretty much sums up Gemini the Messenger. Stay tuned for C4 where we talk about Cancer. We give you a little bit more about how all that connects to everything. We hope you have enjoyed this video from our Astrology Keyring series. If you like the content, please like, follow, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching and have a blessed journey.